It's more about the protection of our natural resources, a sacred land to an indigenous people, to my ancestors and myself. We're not gone from this mountain. Native Hawaiians, we're still here. We still have our prayers in the mountain. Many of us still worship on this mountain. It's our connection to heavens, to the heavenly realm. I myself, I'm from Mauna Kea. I come from the other side, so living on the slopes of Mauna Kea my whole life, I always breathe the air of this mountain. I drink the waters of this mountain, and I've always had a deep connection to this place.
I have been here consistently since last week, Wednesday night. I sleep in my truck right across the street on in my front seat. I recline it and I lay back every night. But food, we've been getting so much support from the community, from people who are on their way up here, and as well as people who cannot make it up here. They still send their support through food. We have so much food. We've actually been asking, please, no more food. We have a lot. We have so much water, so we appreciate that. But it's the community that's been providing it for us.
Why does your group object to this one place?
Because it's one too many. It's actually Beshua's too many too long ago. One of our biggest legal stance here that we're trying to make is really calling the attention back to the original zoning of this land. This land is zoned as conservation land, and that's under American law. It's zoned as conservation. And why is it's conservation? Because it's critical habitat for a very unique and special and now very critically endangered species. It's zoned for conservation because of its function in the watershed. That's a big one for all of us. If we live on Hawaii, you need to be familiar with where your water comes from. And this mountain is one of the main sources that feed our aquifers. So any contaminant on the mountain goes directly into our aquifers. And that's something for everyone to pay attention to. And it's just been a commonality for Native Hawaiians because we've always had that belief here on this mountain. The gods who dwell on this mountain for us, Poliahu, Lilinoi, Waiau, Kahupukane, Lihau, they're all water forms. Ice, snow, mist. And in our ancient days, the mountain was kapu. No one went up on the mountain. Only specific people for specific or for very specific reasons. And really, if you go up into that realm, the Vawakua, you were to go. They went up, did what they had to do in their ceremony, and come right back down, because it was so sacred. And the understanding of that's the beginning of the water. That's the source. So if you go to the source and you contaminate the source, the contaminant spreads everywhere.
Hawaiians traditionally, they were very interested in astronomy, right? And very scientific. Don't you think that they, would be kind of supportive of increased?
That is a very common thing that we hear all these telescopes trying to throw at us. And that's where the big eha comes for a lot of Native Hawaiians, that they would actually use, and most of the time, non-Hawaiians, using that claim of our ancestors to try and justify what they're doing in the mountain. Yes, our people did follow the stars. They were interested in, we were very, our minds were very expansive. We were very, open to learning more and stuff. However, our traditions keep us in the understanding of protecting your sources. We're all about Nana Iki Kumu, looking to our source and protecting that source, your foundation. So I think, yes, definitely we would, our kupuna, our elders, our ali'i, our chiefs, all of them would be very interested in the science. But they would most likely, as we feel today, and looking at the traditions of our people, if you really look at our who we are as a people and not just one concept to satisfy what you're trying to do, but we were protectors of the natural cycles of the world. So if you made an offer to put this on the top of our most sacred mountain, oh no, I don't think they'd be for that. They'd probably just say, great science, great technology, wrong place. And that's really what we're still saying. None of us, we're not against the science at all. Astronomy and everything, that's wonderful. It's awesome learning. The telescopes, I've been hearing about it. It's an amazing project. It's going to be an amazing piece. It would be an amazing piece of equipment and machinery. But with that comes all the chemicals and the devastations of construction. So where else could we do that? That's what our big claim is. Like, great science, great idea, wrong place.
I have no issue with science. Looking into the stars is the reason why we are here. However, we did not need to destroy mountains to do it. Our kupuna, our ancestors, were so skilled in astronomy and navigation that they could simply go to an area where cloud cover wasn't too bad, and look at the stars and study it. And this mountain was actually used for that. So we understand the importance of astronomy, because without it, we would have never been here. It was the tool that our ancestors used to travel across thousands of miles of ocean before most people in the world knew that the world wasn't flat. Before most people in the world were confident enough to sail more than 3-4 miles off a shore. And so we understand the importance. We are not against it at all. However, we are against further desecration of our mountain. There's already 13 telescopes up there, I believe 12 or 13. And this one, the one that they're attempting to build, or they would like to build, will dwarf all of those telescopes combined. And so we don't see the reason of looking further into space when we can't even malama what we have here. And so for us, we come from ancestors who were able to see space and use that information to find new lands, again, before anybody knew that the world wasn't flat. And so we don't see the need for a 30-meter telescope on top of our sacred mountain. And again, we don't understand the benefit of it. I've had a conversation with a scientist back in October when we were here for the groundbreaking, and we stopped that. I was able to speak with a few scientists who work in the telescopes, and I asked them, what is the benefit of this? You know, I understand your guys' perspective that you love science and you want to study what you want to study, but how does this benefit the people? And I was told, curiosity. Curiosity, simply curiosity. And I don't see curiosity superseding the need to protect our sacred lands. I would also like to say that the only reason why they're allowed to build up here is because of court decisions. However, as many people are finding out, Hawaii is under an illegal and prolonged occupation by the United States of America, and therefore the state of Hawaii is illegal, and every extension of the state is illegal. So therefore the contracts between the contractors and the state are illegal, and therefore it's void. So again, their claim to the mountain, or they claim that their entitlement to the mountain, is based off of illegality, and therefore it's void. So the only thing that they're using, the only leverage that they're using is, in a sense, illegal leverage. And so we'd like to bring that out into the light too, that Hawaii is under a continued elongated occupation, illegal occupation by the United States of America since 1898. And so therefore they should not be desecrating our cultural lands. And also these are not only cultural lands, but these are crown lands. These are lands that were seized by the United States of America after the overthrow. And these are, so they call them ceded lands. However, I like to call them seized lands. And these are supposed to be held in trust for the Hawaiian people. And I believe that the Hawaiian people have made it clear that we are against this. And so we feel that they are not recognizing the rights and the cultural rights, the civil rights of the native peoples and the host culture of these lands.